I first got into newspapers I was in Africa, and I became the BBC correspondent in Namibia when I was aged 19. And then all these checks started arriving in the post, and I thought, this is fantastic, they pay you for doing this. And I got the bug then, and afterwards decided to go into newspapers once I'd graduated. Newspapers, I think, are absolutely vital, because we don't just present facts, we present opinions. And we campaign on those opinions, and we pursue what we think are the interests of our readers. So whenever we see evidence of wrongdoing or corruption or confusion, we like to explore it. We're like a dog with a bone on these stories, and we keep going at them until we get to the truth. And I think this is really important, that newspapers can do that, and they can attack with attitude and with vigour. And as a result, I believe the country's a better place, that we do expose corruption and we do hold the powerful to account. The Times has led on two very important campaigns recently. The first is exposing paedophile gangs across Britain, and for a variety of reasons the authorities had not prosecuted these, but once the Times highlighted what was going on, they were embarrassed into taking action. And that's a story really in the public interest, and it raised the profile of what was happening. And since then, there's been all sorts of stories that emerged about abuse of children, very worrying stories, and that's absolutely in the public interest. We've exposed tax avoidance, the scale of it, individuals using very complicated plans. And at a time of austerity, this has become an argument, a public and political argument about the morality of tax avoidance, which is quite legitimate, but even so, people feel somehow that it's wrong. I think all newspapers have something to contribute. The fact they have that many readers. And remember, every day more than 20 million people read newspapers, national newspapers. They have huge reach, and each one has an appeal to a different readership. So they have a value, they all have a value. They all pursue different stories. They compete intensely with each other, which adds, I think, to the quality. Not always, sometimes it can be counterproductive, but generally, I think we are served by the best press anywhere in the world. I do admire good journalism wherever it comes from, and I particularly like looking at The Guardian, because it gives you, counter views to the ones you might have, and a different approach to stories. Our chief competitor is The Telegraph, so we're acutely conscious of what it does. The Financial Times breaks good stories, has invaluable analysis. All of them contribute something. The Mail is a very angry newspaper, and that's a valuable counterweight to how we see things, but it campaigns well. We have well over 100,000 subscribers digitally. We're pretty happy with that. We're going to increase those numbers steadily. A combination of print and digital. We're taking to 350,000 subscribers for the Sunday Times and Times. And we think it's working well. We believe it is the only route to go, that you shouldn't give away content for free, and that people are prepared to pay for it. And what we found is you're creating a community online of Times and Sunday Times readers who really enjoy being part of what is essentially a club. And I think other newspapers will follow in due course. Well, I think there's a place for both of them, and a lot of our readers will read the tablet during the week and then the papers on Saturday and Sunday. And we're entirely comfortable with that. I mean, as long as they're reading the words and looking at the pictures and looking at the ads, and we think the tablet's a great medium for advertising, that they can become interactive. And this is an incredibly exciting development. So as long as the price is right for the tablet, we're entirely comfortable. Whatever platform they like, we're happy with. I think our relationship with advertisers has got much better over the years. We're much more open to innovations in advertising. We understand that advertising has to reach out to other people they haven't reached before. So for example, on the Sunday Times, we've wrapped the entire paper with a see-through cover. I think that's fine. I think it's good. We're prepared to look at new ad shapes, which is fine again. Indeed, soon on the Times we'll be putting a little ad on the front page, which is a first in the tabloid. So we're open to lots of ideas, because we understand advertisers have to reach their audience, and we're there to help them. In 1966, the entire front page was ads, and people forget it. And curiously, when the Times abandoned that, there was an uproar from readers because they liked the ads on the front. If newspapers were not here, I do think the world would be a poorer place. Sure, there'd be other means of getting information, but I think you'd lose some of the credibility, some of the passion, some of the excitement in newspapers if they didn't exist. Some may translate ultimately to the internet, but I think newspapers are going to be around for a very long time still because people like them. They like the tangible feel of them. And without them, I think information, the flow of information, the debate will be that much less. If you go back some years, the only means of communicating with a newspaper really was writing it a letter. And so the letters page was the main forum. Now columnists are constantly engaging with readers, debating with them, answering emails, messages, blogs. It's far better than it used to be in terms of communication, back and forth. So as a result, readers feel far more part of a club with the newspaper and identify more closely with it. As long as newspapers get their model right digitally, they will succeed in tablet form and on the internet. At the moment, we don't know which way it'll go. Will the internet, newspapers on the internet survive, or will they become just tablet products? But I do see a successful digital future and a slow transition, that print coexists with digital for many years and satisfying readers on whatever platform they want it. Yes, I do. I think newspapers will be around for the indefinite future.